Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, it is a Friday. Woo! And it's 8 a.m. You know what time it is? It's time for grade 8 English home language. Yes, I'm still your teacher, your presenter, your educator, Jikimuyeng. And we are going to continue with advertisement. So this is the second part for advertisements. We started with advertisements in the previous lesson yesterday. So without a waste of time, let us continue. And can I see who is here with us today? Can you take today's register to see who's present? If you are there with us today, can you please say hi in the chat so I can acknowledge you, so I can recognize you and see who is with us today? You know, before every class starts, the teacher needs to take the register, So yeah, let me take a register and see who is with us today. Okay, I see a couple of highs. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Helen, Lesedi, Nkanka, Tedza, Liz N. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad I'm not the only one here, but we are all together in the lesson of today. Like I've already said, we are continuing on advertisements. Yesterday was a very wonderful lesson, the way you were so interactive, and I really am hoping for the same thing even today. Yes, without a waste of time, let's get on with it. Yes, remember we did say that advertisements are a form of persuasive writing, that with an advertisement, we are persuaded to think in a certain way. We are persuaded to exhibit certain behaviors. We are persuaded to do things in a certain way. Yes. So remember, if you have a question, if you need clarity on anything we are doing today or anything we did yesterday, please raise your hand so I can give you a chance to speak, to ask a question, or you can text us your question in the chat. And I promise you that I will get back to it because I'm here for you. Okay. So another quote for advertisements by Jim Metcalf, it says, if you are a good marketing person, you have to be a little crazy. Mm. Okay, yeah, I think we can all agree with that. You know, the way these advertisements go, most of them really have us smiling, shaking our heads as we laugh, Yes, so that is a very interesting and wonderful quote, which is consistent with what we are doing in our lesson today. Advertisements, yes. Okay, advertisements are a form of persuasive writing. Yes, we did say that. And their purpose is to persuade us through a process of explaining a proposition, to persuade readers or viewers to accept a point of view or to adopt certain behavior. You remember that, right? So that was from yesterday. Okay, so today we are starting something new. We are starting something new. Everything else, the previous slides were what we did yesterday. So since we are done with yesterday's things, let's continue with what we have in store for the day. So this is something we all need to remember even in today's lesson about how persuasive advertisements can be, and that they aim to persuade us to accept a certain point of view or to adopt certain behaviors. Now, the features of an advertisement or features of advertisements. Okay, so those ways like buy one get one free, exclusive offer, free, this is a good deal, hurry, all those things. So yeah, even in today, we continue to say that an advertisement really, it will have those elements which will really catch your attention, and they will also keep your attention. I mean, you know this, right? Have you ever, okay, like you have seen it happen to you when you walk in a grocery store, when you pass there where there are magazines and newspapers, you will see that cover, or you'll see something which will really catch your eye, and you will just stand there and read it and look at it. So that is what they do. Even on TV, there are some words in an advertisement which will stand out more than every other word. Those words will be written in a bigger font, in more exciting colors, in a way of catching your attention. Yeah, I think we've all seen that. This is something we have all seen, and this is what advertisements really do to us. Even if it happens that the advertisement is about something that we should not know, or something that we should not even interested in, but the chances are, when you see that, it will really catch your attention. You'll want to see what the fuss is all about. What could be exciting about this? What could be exciting about what they are advertising? And you realize that it happens everywhere. You see it on TV. You go to YouTube to watch a video. When there's a time for ads, you will see it there. When you go to some websites, you will see some advertisements there. It really happens. I mean, have you seen that? Let's say maybe now you are looking to buy a new phone or a laptop, then you search for it online, and then after that you log out, and then later on when you go online again on Google or whatever website that which you will be on, chances are that you will see some advertisements which show you laptops. Have you seen that? Why? Because you were looking for laptops earlier. And then now, as you are in any other website which doesn't even sell anything, but you will see some ads there about laptops, about different laptops. They'll be showing you that this one is 10% off, that one is 30% off, that one comes with a free printer, that one comes with free whatever headphones or headsets. So yeah, it happens, and you realize that when that happens, those advertisements, they are in a way that which they will catch your attention, and they will keep your attention, and they'll make sure that words such as 10% off, the words which show discounts, the words which show what you could get in addition to the product you buy, those words, you realize that they will stand out. They'll be written in a bigger font. Maybe they'll be written in bold, or in that color which will easily catch your attention. Okay. Then another feature is that advertisements create a desire to own the product or to use the service. So in my example, when you see that, you will want a new laptop, even if it happens that you are seeing that advertisement on your laptop that which you have been having for a few months now, then you see this other laptop which looks like it's more cooler than yours, it looks bigger than yours, it looks like it has more more RAM space, more ROM space, a bigger screen, maybe it looks lighter, maybe the keyboard looks, whatever the reason. So it so the advert will be in a way that it will create a desire in you to want to own that product, even though you do not need it. I mean, if you just bought a laptop 3 months ago, chances are it is still working well, and you do not really need a new laptop. All right. But then in these advertisements, they will really evoke in you a desire to want to own a new laptop. They will give you that desire to want to own a new one. They'll also want to create that desire to make you to use their services, whatever the service may be. Let's say maybe right now you have an app that which you use to stream music, and then when you are online, you see you see an advertisement of another music streaming app telling you about giving you 2 months free premium subscription, but then you are a premium subscriber of the music app that you use. Chances are they will advertise it in a way that it will create a desire in you to want to use their service. So yeah, those are advertisements, guys. Those are advertisements. So another thing is they make the reader to actually go out and buy or use the product or the service. So that is what happens. But then now it became easier for them, Right now, you really do not have to go outside now. You do not have to go out of the room to go to the store to buy that product or to buy that service or to use that service. What you need to do now is as simple as a click. You only click on that advertisement and then it will take you to the page where you can buy the product or you can use the service. That is how easy things have gotten for advertisers these days. That if the advert is there online, you do not have to go outside the house. You do not have to go to the shop. You do not have to go anywhere. All you need to do is you just get out of the house to buy the product or to use it. I mean, can you really imagine that? Things have just gotten easy now for these advertisers. There is no, there is no, there is no drill of you thinking to yourself that, oh, I have to bath first. I have to change my clothes. I have to change out of these pajamas I'm wearing. I have to make my bed. I do not know where I've put my mask. I have to sanitize my hands. No, right there, right there in the comfort of your own home, right there in your own room on your bed, you just click on that link, you just click on that advertisement, and then you can buy the product or the service online. Yeah, so that's advertisements for you. Remember, if you have a question or clarity, if there's something you don't understand, if you have comments, please, 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 you can raise your hand or type for us in the chat. Let's continue. So the following are considered when advertisers, they make advertisements, right? The first thing they consider is the target market. Okay, who's the target market? The target market are the people for whom the advertisement will appeal to. Okay, so if I was a toy maker and I make toy cars, then my target market will be children, Chances are you learners who are here, none of you will be my target markets because, okay, you are in grade 8. How old are you? You are about 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, that is your age group. Therefore, if I am a toy maker, you will not be my target market because I think that at the age group of 12 years to 15 years, you really are old to really be playing with toy cars. So yes, that is the first thing that which they think about. They think about the target market. That is the people whom the advert will appeal to. You will realize that if there is an advertisement of toy cars on TV, and you are the only child, you do not have a younger brother or a younger sister, chances are that you will not be interested to watch that advertisement. Not something that which you are interested in. Another thing is the positioning. I did say something about this yesterday. So the positioning is about where and when the advertisement will appear, in what media, at what time, and where in the program or magazine. So this is something very intricate. This is something very important. Okay. So in my example, if I am a toy maker and I am selling toy cars. Remember, my target market will be children, let's say between the ages of 3 and 11. So that being my target market, then I will need to think about my positioning. I will need to think about where will my advertisements be. Okay, chances are that my advertisements will probably not be on radio because most children these days, they do not listen to radio. So a good okay, another thing is that another place I shall not be using will probably be offices, offices. Chances are not many kids really go to the workplaces of their parents. but the places I could use could be places such as the grocery store. The kids do go there. The kids section in the grocery store, the stationery section in the grocery store. That's where I can really put my advertisement there. Yes, and when the advertisement will appear, okay, let's say I will put it in those channels where, like kids channels, those channels where kids anime, kids cartoons play. Then that is where I'm going to put my advertisement. And chances are it will be good for me to put those advertisements between 5 a.m. in the morning, maybe up until 9 p.m. Because chances are those are the times when children are watching TV. Those are the times when children are most awake. And then I will really bombard those advertisements around in the afternoon and also in the evening, because chances are in the afternoon or in the evening, those children are probably watching TV with their older siblings, with their aunts, with their uncles, and also with their parents. So if my advertisement is at that time, then chances are the child will be excited to see those toy cars and tap on their siblings and their parents and say, "Mom, Dad, can you please buy me that toy car? Can you please buy me that car?" So you realize that by doing that, by by doing that, the child will be hooked, and the child will start throwing those tantrums. If maybe the parents will say to the child that, "No, we can't buy you, we do not have money, or we cannot buy you," then the child will be throwing those tantrums, those type of children who will roll on the floor. So yeah, that is what will happen. The child will want to roll on the floor in frustration. The child will be frustrated. The child will be angry, rolling on the floor, throwing those tantrums because they want that toy car. So that will be a good time for me to advertise. Okay, so in what media? Like I've already said, I will not be advertising on the radio. Many children do not listen to radio, so I will advertise on kids channels on TV. Yes, and I will also advertise on other channels during the time when there are kids shows, and also maybe during the prime time between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. when the kids' parents will be watching their favorite TV shows and soapies. You see, yeah. So that will be the time. And in terms of magazines, then maybe on the back of the magazine, and maybe somewhere at the corner on the front of the magazine, I can really advertise something there. Also in the kids section in the magazines, where there are those puzzles, those coloring, those pictures where the kids will need to color them in, those are also the good places for me to advertise. So that is something that which the advertisers do consider, the positioning. It is very important. It is very, very important that after they've established who their target market is, then they think about where they can position their advertisements. Right. Then the next thing is appeal. So this is, to what sense is the advertisement appealing? Remember, we have 5 senses: is sight, is hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. Therefore, the advertiser will need to think about which sense will they appeal to with the advertisement. So on TV, they will be appealing to sight and also to hearing. Okay, yes. But if maybe this advertisement was in a restaurant, then we'll be appealing to sight, we'll be appealing to hearing, we'll also be appealing to smelling, so that the children can smell the burger, they can smell the pizza, they can smell the chips, and all those wonderful food that which they may want. And we can also appeal to touch as well. I mean, have you seen, like, most times, if you have a child, you are working with a child, and then there are those street vendors who sell toys in the street. What they will do is that they will play with those toys, making those sounds, or if maybe it's a toy phone, they will press the toy phone and it will make all those exciting sounds for the child. And then what they usually do is that they will give the child the phone to press, or they will give the child the rubber ducky or whatever to play with. So then what that does is that when the child touches it and plays with it, then they are appealing to the touch. They are appealing to the sense of touch in the child. And when the child enjoys touching the toy, and they enjoy hearing the sound that the toy makes, then the child then starts to cry for the toy, you know. And then when that street vendor will take the toy away from the child will start to cry because the child was enjoying the sound the toy makes. He was also enjoying to touch the toy. Therefore, now the child will cry, and then you as the parent will feel sorry, and then you will end up buying that toy for the child. Have you seen that happen? Yeah, so that is what happened. So you realize that with every form of media that which is used, it will appeal to different senses. So if you use TV, it will appeal to sight and hearing. So if then it's a face-to-face contact thing, then it will be appealing to the touch, probably the smell, maybe sometimes even the taste. See, so that is what the advertisers do. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, so that is what advertisers do. They make sure that they appeal to the different senses of the child, you know. They make sure that they appeal to different senses of their target market. Because the thing is, the more the senses of the target market is engaged, the more persuasive the advertisement is. Can you imagine if an advertisement could appeal to your sight, it could appeal to your hearing, it could appeal to your touch, it can also appeal to your smelling and to your tasting. You realize that if an advertisement then appeals to more of your senses, then there are more chances of you being the target market to really being persuaded to buy that product or to use that service. So that is what advertisers do, and that is what they have in mind when they design their advertisements. So remember, if there's anything you do not understand, if you need clarity on something, please raise your hand and I'll give you a chance to ask your question, or you can type your question in the chat. Okay, and another thing they do consider, it is the layout of their advertisement as well as their font size. You will realize that if the font size is small, then it will not cater for everyone, because there are those people who are there are those people who are short-sighted, and for them, if they see that advertisement from a distance, they will not be able to see it if the font size is small, you know, because short-sighted people can only see clearly something that which is in a very short range from their eyes, you know. So if something is far, then they will not be able to see it. Therefore, that is the reason why advertisers will use bigger fonts, and they'll make sure that even their layout is clear, their layout is concise, and they use different colors there in a way as to catch your attention as the reader or as the viewer of that advertisement. The next thing is they also consider the attitudes. They consider the attitude and the ratio between the fact and opinion. Sometimes is that they can really, advertisers, they can introduce something and they may really make it as if like it is a fact, although it may be an opinion. Okay, for example, in my example that which I made of myself selling toy cars, in this context, what I can do is that I can make the kids to feel like if they do not have this toy car, then they are not having their best childhood, you know. I will make it to them to seem like if they do not have this toy car that which I'm advertising, then they are not having the best childhood they could ever get. Then it means that they are not enjoying their childhood. It means that even when they grow up, they will not be well-rounded adults because there is something that which they have missed during their childhood. Okay, so I will really make the kids to really have that attitude that, you know, we really need to collect these toy cars so that I can really be a good driver when I grow up, so that when I grow up I can drive my dream car, so that when I am a child like this, I can really enjoy my childhood by driving and by owning this toy car. So advertisers, they do this with everything. You realize that with any advertisement that you can think of right now, you realize that there is a certain attitude that which the advertiser will want you to adopt. through their advertisement. Another thing they consider is the effectiveness of the choice of color or the lack thereof. So you realize that there are some colors that which you really cannot overlook. One of those colors is red. I don't know why, but we all know that if we see the color red, we want to see what's going on. Okay, red really is that color that can really catch your attention. It is very difficult to overlook anything which is red. I mean, see even on the road, it is very difficult to overlook the stop sign because it is red. It is very difficult to overlook the traffic lights when it is on red. And you realize that even in most advertisements, red is the color that which they really love to use. Red is that color that they really love to use. It is one of the most commonly used colors in advertisements. So yes, advertisers will use different color combinations. They know which colors are best for what they want to do. So they will use different color combinations as a way of being effective in their advertising. Another thing they consider is the language that which they use, whether it is a cliche, whether they repeat something, whether the language is figurative or rhetorical, etc. So the language that which they use, it will be highly dependent on the type of their target market as well as the product that which they are advertising. But you realize that somehow they use figurative language. Somehow they repeat what they are saying. They seem to be repetitive, so that you can easily remember. If I repeat something to you, chances are that you will not remember it. It is like with a song. The more you listen to a song, the more you know the song, the more you remember the lyrics of the song, the more you will be able to sing along to the song. Even if I ask you right now to sing the song for me, you will sing it for me without playing it. So those are some of the things that the advertisers they consider when designing their advertisements. Okay, so advertisements also contain the following. They contain a mix of facts and persuasive comment. And the way these facts and persuasive comments are mixed, they're mixed in such a way that it will be very difficult for you to distinguish which one of them is facts and which of them is persuasive comments. Okay, so yeah, so that is what they do, that is what happens. Okay, again, they focus on the positive and they ignore the negative. Okay, so you realize that that is what each and every advert does. They show you only the positive side and never the negative side. Remember, every product has its positive side and also has its negative side. Even that most expensive flagship phone is the same, in as much as it has the most positive sides, but there could be one or two things which are negative about it. Okay, so even in the example that which I made, okay, the positive side could be that the child will enjoy playing with the car and stuff like that. But the negative thing could be that if it happens that the child break the car, it could be that the car could it could be that you cannot repair the car. Therefore you have to buy a new one. You'll have to replace the car, the toy car. Yes. So that is what advertisements do. They always emphasize the positive of the service or the positive of the product. Then they use exaggerated language, which is full of adjectives and adverbs to paint an appealing picture. For example, they can say the biggest sale of the year ever. I mean, especially with Black Friday. I mean, you've seen how they advertise it. They can say biggest sale of the year ever. Up to 80, save up to 80% on cell phones, computers, whatever the products it is that which they are selling. So you realize that they will really exaggerate. They really exaggerate. They will say it is the biggest sale, but then you realize that in as much as it is the biggest sale, you realize that although some products will be, let's say some products will be 80% off, you realize that there will be other products which are the same as that 80% product, which could be more in price during that time. Let's make this example. Let's say it is two phones, right? So phone number one, I'm selling it at 70% off. And then there's phone number two. So with phone number two, I've increased the price of phone number two by 50%. you realize that if phone number one will be out of stock because people will buy it quicker, then I can really make up for that with the sales of phone two, because phone two will be 50% more than phone one. So that is what advertisers do. Their language, they exaggerate it as a way of painting an appealing picture for us. They use those wonderful adjectives which will really tickle your ears, which will really tickle you. Yeah. Okay, they start sentences with imperatives. Okay, imperatives such as you can save today on our special. You can get this for 50% off today only. Things like that. Sometimes they also ask rhetorical questions. For example, do you do you do you have tired or dull hair? I mean, you know your hair. You know how your hair is. So they can really ask those rhetorical questions. Are you tired of a slow internet connection? Yes, you are in great company. Get this router and you get unlimited data for streaming, for downloading games, Yes, that is the type of language they use. And then they'll use memorable images and slogans. For example, smooth, sleek, shiny hair is yours with super care. So this is an example. If this was a hair care product, you can say smooth, sleek, and shiny hair is yours with super care. Get it now from your nearest retailer. Things like that. Yeah. So advertisements really are exciting. I can really tell you, I'm enjoying this lesson. Yes. So the sole purpose of advertisements is to convince the reader or the listener or the viewer to buy the product. So that is the reason why we have advertisements. Chances are, without advertisements, we will have been knowing nothing about these products. So by them advertising it, they're also letting us know that this product exists, and they're also trying to convince us to buy it. Not only that, they repeat words or phrases to ensure that the message will be remembered. I mean, do you know that advertisements are like it is very easy to remember an advertisement. I remember there is this one advertisement that which was popular about 10 years ago. It was a domestos advert, and even now I can really remember it. I tried to check for it on YouTube. It is not there. But then I can really recite the advertisement for you. Yeah, because of how repetitive it was and how often it used to appear on TV. Another thing is that advertisements, they offer bonuses, promises of bargains, or of getting something for nothing. You remember yesterday, sometimes they can say, buy this, buy one, get one free, buy one, get one free. If you buy this phone, we are going to give you 5 gig of data for free every month for 12 months. If you buy this phone, you will get free headsets, you will get free 3 months subscription to whatever. You'll get 3 months free subscription to Netflix, to Spotify, to Apple Music, to whatever product or service. So that is what advertisements do. They really make buying to really be the most exciting activity there is on earth. Yeah. So that is what advertisements do. Okay, they really make buying to become the most exciting thing you can ever do. Again, they use stereotypes. Okay, they always use stereotypes. Okay, they always use stereotypes, and usually most of those stereotypes, if you can think about them, they can really be offensive. They can really be offensive. Yeah, I mean, you can just think of any advertisement which uses stereotypes, and you realize that the people that which it is stereotyped against, it could be offensive to them. Just think of any advert, any of them. Okay, another thing is that they use quotes or authority from people. Yeah, I mean, you will see even like these days, most advertisements, they will use your favorite celebrity. I mean, imagine if right now I was a celebrity and I am your favorite celebrity, and you realize that I use phone XYZ. Chances are that because I use XYZ and you've seen that my posts on Instagram, my pictures on Instagram, they are so clear, they are high quality pictures, they have good viewing angles. Chances are you will be persuaded to buy an XYZ phone. just like a celebrity. If you realize that model that we should know, that model that we should have a crush on, that model you think is the most beautiful woman you've seen on TV, if then you realize that they use this certain cream for their faces, chances are you as a girl, you would want to buy that face cream to use on your face so that you can be beautiful like her. So you realize that that is what they do. They will even have experts, dentists advertising a toothpaste, a dermatologist advertising a skincare product. They will have an engineer advertising a computer, things like that. Another thing they do is they call for action, the expression of agency to act on the advice. Okay, so they will say things such as buy now before stocks run out. Call us today, buy today. What are you waiting for? Buy right now. Hurry while stocks last. They say those things to make sure that you will want to buy that product as soon as possible. You will not have to wait for month end. Okay, you will not want to wait for the weekend. You will not want to wait for next week. You will not want to wait for your mom to come back to work to give you allowance. No, right now, as you are spied by that advertisement, you will be sending your parents a message asking for some money to buy that as soon as you possibly can. So that is what advertisements do. Okay, now let's have a little bit of interaction. I'm left with about 10 minutes, so please, I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand so that we can answer these few questions. So number one, why do you think are so many advertisements on TV, radio, magazines, etc.? Remember, please raise your hand and I'll give you a chance to answer, because with the amount of time you are left with, we really can't use the chat, So please, can you raise your hand to answer the questions that which we have? So yes, why do you think there are so many advertisements? Somebody, anybody? Okay, I will answer this for you then. Okay, there are many advertisements on TV, radio, and magazines, etc. Why? Because there are many products out there in the market, and also because all these manufacturers and all these companies, they are competing with each other, right? So chances are, if right now there are 10 brands of cell phones, and they all released a cell phone, and they all released a new smartphone today, chances are 10 of them, they will want to advertise their new smartphone that which they've released. Okay, so then after the advertisement of the first one, there'll be the second, the third, the fourth, and until. So that is the reason why there are so many advertisements. And another thing is that advertisers also, they love to use different media so that they can reach more people, because not everybody reads magazines. That's why when they use magazines, they also use radio, and they also use TV, and they also use the internet, they use YouTube and all these other platforms. So the more media and platforms they use to advertise, the more people they can reach. So number two, do you ever enjoy advertisements on TV? If yes, what do you enjoy about them? Okay, we have a hand from Nkanka. Yes,
Sir,
Nkanka.
can you hear
Yes.
me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, yes, I do enjoy advertisements on TV, sir,
Yeah.
because the food advertisements makes me hungry sometimes.
Okay, so do you enjoy them if
Yes,
they
sir.
make you hungry like that? Okay, so all right, after they make you hungry, then what do you do?
I wait an hour or so and then I go buy food.
The very same food that which they were advertising on TV.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nkanka, thank you. Thank you so much. So that was Nkanka telling us that I don't know if he or she enjoys advertisements on TV, especially those ones about food, about fast food, because after that, then she will go and get some food. Okay, thank you so much, Nkanka. Anyone else before we move on to the next question? Okay, let's move to the next question. What kind of advertisements attract your attention? Okay, as for me, advertisements which attract my attention are those of fast food. Yeah, I really love pizza. So advertisements of pizza, they really do attract my attention. And also advertisements of smartphones, computers, and cars. Yeah, those type of advertisements, they really do catch my attention. What about you? Which types of advertisements attract your attention? All right, okay. I think we can move on to the next question. So every advertisement will attract the attention of different people because we have different personalities and we are interested in different things, right? For some, it will be adverts of skincare products, hair care products, um, games, gaming consoles, books, etc., etc. So it's different things really. Then number 4, what is the most memorable advertisement you have ever seen? For me, okay, okay, I see in the chat Cesar says sneakers. Thank you so much for answering the question. So for me, the most okay, you can raise your hand for any of these questions. So for me, the most memorable advertisement was the one I was telling you about that I still remember it. It was this one of Domestos. It was this one of these gems. They were having a party right there in the toilet, and then the Domestos was put there, and then they were so scared. They were so scared that they freaked out. They tried to run away, but they couldn't run away. The Domestos rushed them all away. It was a very, very funny advertisement. I wish it could come back so you guys can see it. Yeah, because it was an advertisement of about 9 or 10 years ago. Yeah. So I wish it comes back so you guys can see it. It was a very funny one. Okay, Leslie says the KFC advert. Okay, okay, thank you, thank you. So yes, you see each and every one of us, there is that advertisement which is memorable for us. Number 5, what is the funny advertisement you've ever seen? Wow, there have been many of them. There have been many of them. There have been many of them. Okay, so yeah, there are quite funny advertisement I've seen. It's just that there's so many of them right now. I do not know which one to share. But I think since all of us we really have different things which are funny for us, then what could be funny for you may not be funny for me. What was funny for me could not have been funny for you. So what products use very serious TV advertisements? Usually, I don't know. Usually it is food. Food is something which is usually advertised almost every day on TV. You'll have retailers advertising those basic food, the maize meal, the meat, the sugar, yeah, yes. Oh, as well as those services like, your life cover, policies, insurance advertisements. Yeah, they also like to do that as well. Then what products use funny TV advertisements? It is usually sweets, yeah. Advertisements of sweets and chocolates are very, very, very funny. Yeah. Number 8, which celebrities have you ever seen on advertisements? Wow, so many of them, guys, so many of them. I've seen Casper Nyovest, I've seen cricketers, I've seen footballers, I have seen actors of different soapies, I have seen, many, many, many celebrities, local celebrities, international celebrities. I have seen them on TV. You've seen Cristiano Ronaldo, we have seen Lionel Messi during lace advertisements, yeah, many, many people. Number 9, do any advertisements shock viewers? I think there are some advertisements that shock viewers. Those advertisements where they will give you statistics. Yeah, I mean, those ones, they are shocking. Sometimes you'll even think that they've made those statistics themselves. Yeah, those adverts really are shocking. Yeah. And then number 10, how are radio ads, magazine ads, and TV ads different from each other? They are different. Remember, A radio advertisement, it appeals to a person's hearing because we cannot see. A magazine advertisement will appeal to our sight because we can see all those colors and everything. And then a TV ad will appeal to our sight because we can see the advert on TV. It will also appeal to our hearing because as far as you can see it, we can also hear it, right? So that is the difference between radio ads, magazines, and TV ads. So that is the end of our lesson, guys. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my learners, for being part of it. Homolemo, Helen, Lesedi, Lisen, Nkanka, Teza, Tyrese. Thank you so much for being part of